Welcome to Care Conversations with Clarity Financial Solutions, where through education, we move you from confusion to clarity on all topics touching retirement. Join us as we learn and grow from others' experience on entering into the next phase of life with peace of mind and conviction that you have a team of experts to help you, educate you, and let you know your unique retirement is upon you. So it's time to take a deep inhale, a slow exhale, and walk into this next phase of life confident and with clarity. Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining. This is our first season, first episode of Care Conversations with Clarity. My name is Amanda Stilwell, founder of Clarity Financial Solutions and also financial advisor. And it is my desire to educate the communities that I serve on topics touching retirement. My life has not always been in financial services. I found myself working in home health and hospice with families dealing with tragedy or, things out of their control, usually the loss of a loved one's ability to do their activities of daily living without assistance. And I was brought into these conversations where we had to problem solve topics around price tags that come with care, extended care that's not covered by insurance, such as Medicare. And we're going to talk about that. But that experience, that little peek behind the curtain of what can happen in someone's life in retirement or any time of life, but specifically as we age, sometimes our health changes, and how just a few bits of information drastically could have changed those families' lives. So as I, reflected on those experiences and really wanted to help other families prevent this lack of knowledge, thus creating a erosion of their retirement accounts, I just talked through what I wanted to do with different people in different industries and was fortunate enough to land in financial services where I'm able to take the stories of my past and be able to help clients and their families navigate these treacherous waters, but they don't have to be, of retirement or life after work. And how I go about navigating it is through education. And one of the most important pieces of education, and as we move through these weeks with these care conversations, we're going to have education on topics that touch retirement, but we're also going to bring into the mix some emotion. So some real life examples on how topics that touch retirement affect people. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So most likely, if you're watching this, you have spent a fair amount of time working, putting your head down, going to work, raising a family, maybe helping with aging parents. Just doing life, right? And preparing, though, for retirement, or what I love to call life after work. So let me ask you, are you someone in that seat? Are you looking at retirement a little bit differently than you did 10, 15, or even 20 years ago? When we're in the thick of our working years, oftentimes our retirement accounts that we've set up, they don't really evoke emotion. So what I mean by that is, they're a number on a screen. I know that I'm continuing to work. I know that I am continuing to earn money, and I'm saving money. And if the market is up or the market is down, pretty much irrelevant because time is on my side. At least I hope it will be. So as we approach this finish line of working, right? Not finish line of life, but working, those numbers all of a sudden mean a lot more. They are emoting inside of us. We see them, we open up our statement, or possibly, turn on our computer and pull up our custodian and see a retirement account number, and all of a sudden it feels different. You're starting to think about not just saving money, but also spending that money. And on top of just spending it, you're also not going to be earning it any more money. And so a bit of anxiety starts to come up, perhaps fear, perhaps paralysis. And that's what we're going to be working through, where that feeling comes from and how to make sure you feel and know that you are going to be okay as you approach what is your unique retirement. So also, not just retirement accounts, but also these other topics start to, peer out of the sides of your life. Things like Medicare, long-term care, understanding the fact that I'm going to have to, at some point in time, begin to draw money out of my accounts, whether I need it or not, which is also known as required minimum distributions. These topics most likely have not been what you've been talking with your friends about at lunch or with your husband about as you are on vacation. And now all of a sudden, you are forced with these decisions that can be scary, right? These thoughts that you have to know this topic, Medicare, what it covers, what it doesn't. How do I supplement the cost that it doesn't pay for? How do I protect my assets from a healthcare event in retirement or protect my loved ones? How do I know where to go? Everyone's telling me they know the exact right plan for me. I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting mail. I'm getting television commercials that are telling me they know exactly what plan I need. And how do they know? And who should I trust? So many times, that is how my first conversation starts with a client. It's about Medicare, believe it or not. Can have clients with multi-million dollars in their portfolios. They are more concerned about understanding Medicare, and rightly so. And let me tap into that a little bit. Our first topic, so next week and the week after, we are going to really dive into Medicare. And it does matter when it comes to your retirement accounts, the decisions that you make with Medicare. And as I said in the beginning, my passion is education. And so I believe that if you don't have a firm grasp on the foundational building blocks of what Medicare is, what it's not, how you pay for it, what you're going to pay for it, what does that even depend on? If you don't know these things, then you're going to make an uninformed decision, which could be the wrong decision, on how to supplement the costs that Medicare does not cover, which can be substantial. And thus, protecting you or possibly exposing you to gaps in coverage and thus causing you to have to erode your retirement assets, or the decisions you make can actually insulate those assets from healthcare cost. And that is our goal. Our goal is to control your healthcare costs. We can't control, friend, what happens to you with your health. Obviously, we can encourage you to make healthy choices and do great things for you and your loved ones through lifestyle. But we can't control what happens. But we can control how much it costs us. And we do that through education, knowledge, and thus better decision making. And so the first 2 weeks of this first season are going to be about healthcare costs in retirement and understanding and unpacking those foundational building blocks. And also knowing when Medicare stops, what if I still need assistance with healthcare? But maybe it's not acute healthcare, so it's not something I'm going to get better from. Maybe it's a chronic condition, not necessarily progressive, but chronic. And I just need assistance with activities of daily living. And just as I said in my former career, those care costs are very expensive. but you need it to have the high quality of life that you deserve in retirement. And so we're next, after those first 2 weeks where we talk about healthcare with Medicare and bring in real life examples, we're then going to go into when Medicare stops, how do I insulate myself from a long-term care issue? Something that really could make a huge difference in my ability to leave a legacy. Those topics are not fun. They're not something that you want to talk about, but that's the care part of this retirement planning season, is understanding those issues and to know that those boxes on that retirement checklist are checked off. You understand the what, the who, the how, the why you made the decision you made. You've earmarked accounts or possibly purchased insurance to protect yourself. And we're going to talk about all of that. It's a new day in long-term care insurance, and I hope that you will stay tuned to those episodes as we make sure that your retirement assets are protected against preventable erosion. Then, after we talk about Medicare and long-term care, we're then going to go into distribution planning and understanding the taxation that comes along with that. Now, guys, this part can get a little hairy, right? We can get in the weeds and really get frustrated because we don't understand basic building blocks. So I'm going to really talk through what types of accounts you might have in your retirement portfolio, how they're taxed and how they're not taxed, and ways to protect yourself from increased taxation through retirement. After all, I am not concerned about necessarily how much money you have in these accounts. I am concerned with how much you get to keep and use in retirement, and not just keep, but leave a legacy if that is something that you desire to do. So, what do I mean by distribution planning? So there are types of different monies that have consequences. And they actually, the way you take certain money out of certain accounts can affect Medicare cost. And it's not just a little bit, it's a great deal of difference in cost. So it's not about completing or getting done or buying or going on vacation what you want. If I want to pay off my home, I can do that. I have the money. But what account do I get it from? And how is it going to impact me negatively or positively? Amanda, I want to leave a legacy for my kids. If these are my accounts, what's the best way to do that? Well, are they high wage earners or low wage earners? How is the taxation of those accounts going to affect them negatively or positively? Will it be a blessing or will it be a burden? Some of the new laws, passed recently have changed the rules of accounts that we inherit. And it's important to understand that because once again, it's not the number in your account, it's the number that you actually get to keep. Planning for that taxation is a critical thing to do in retirement. I can't tell you how many of my clients, and you might be one watching this now, that say, man, I saved money, I worked, I overfunded my IRA, I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was always told, don't worry about it. You're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. Guess what? They're not. So now they are getting their Social Security, they're getting their pension back in the day, right? They are getting Social Security income, all the things. And unfortunately, now they have to draw money out of their accounts because they didn't plan, like we're going to talk about. They're forced to withdraw out of these accounts. They're forced to withdraw regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless if the market is up or down. And that means they have to lock in a loss or lock in a gain, depending on what the market conditions are at the time. So guess what? Now they have gotten money that they didn't need out of an account that could be down because of market conditions. And now they have to add it to their other income and then pay income tax on it. That distribution also affects how many of their Social Security dollars are taxed. And that distribution also affects what they pay for their Medicare Part B and Part D premiums. As you can see, the dominoes fall, and the effect can be pretty unnerving if you weren't planning on it. Now, if it happens and you understand why it's happening and that it is going to happen, meaning you're going to have an increased Medicare premium or you're going to have increased taxation in a year, you understand why it's happening, you know there's a reason, I'm okay with that. My clients are okay with that. But if it just happens to you because you're forced to take these required minimum distributions and then the dominoes start to fall and you didn't know the effect, it can be a pretty painful pill to swallow. And I don't want that for you, friend. I don't. I really want you to feel like you have a good understanding of the who, the what, the why, and the how of the choices you're making in retirement. And then, lastly, we're going to talk about legacy and ways to be a blessing to your family, if you so choose, ways to ensure that the money they receive has the least amount of negative consequences for them, but also ways to be giving to charities that are near and dear to your heart, ways to leverage your dollar in retirement to help you with your taxation while you're living, but then to also significantly bless organizations or people after your passing. And that isn't going to include a conversation about something you probably put off, which is understanding and making sure you have all your estate planning documents in place. You know where they are, what they are, you've reviewed them. I had a client come in here, he's 82 years old, precious man. He has all the right things, but he doesn't have them in order. And he doesn't know some of the pieces of the puzzle that would be detrimental to his family if we had left them unreviewed. Sometimes it's just having the conversation, looking at it with another set of eyes. But it's important. It's important enough for me to want to spend some time here in Greenville, South Carolina, on this beautiful afternoon, sitting in front of my computer and actually recording on the importance. And I want that message to be heard. I'm tired of people getting caught in the fray of these tax traps of Medicare and retirement savings and all the things that can be prevented with just a little bit of education. You do not have to understand beta, standard deviation, arbitrage, all of these things. You don't have to understand that to understand what your decisions are and why you're making them. I don't want you to feel anymore like you're being talked over. I want the experiences of real people, the emotion and care of people maybe that have walked the paths before you to positively impact your life and your retirement. And I want you to enter into this next phase of life with shoulders that are low and with a belly that is full of air and that is fresh and that you are relaxed, confident, and know that you have a team of people you can call. You don't have to go to bed, lay your head on the pillow, fretting, frightened, what if this, what if that? There are things in our life, obviously, we cannot control. And I'm not saying that we can. We don't have a magic wand. But what we do have is the ability to bring scary topics out of the dark and into light, examine them with a few sets of eyes, a few sets of ears, lean into one another, but be on the same side of the table, encourage one another, and start to move in the direction of decisions that are going to make a positive impact on you and then also your legacy. Once again, as I said, it is my honor to have the desire, even the passion to do this type of education. I don't know where it came from other than from watching very, very sad situations and knowing that there could be a better way. But what I do know is when clients come in my office and they are nervous and frightened, ready to retire, but scared if they even can, and I'm able to look at them and with planning and with education, get them to that next phase where they know there is going to be a day of their choosing based on fact where they can actually walk into what I call life after work, a life where you control your healthcare cost, you understand that you know what decisions you're making, and you understand the why of those decisions, that you have a team of people around you helping you, and you get to enter into a life where you can volunteer again, where you can hike, where you can travel, where you can give back to the next generation through teaching someone to read, or shoot, I don't know, sky's the limit, right? Travel the world, or maybe just get in the car and go for a ride. But you have the freedom of time. You've worked the years, you've put the time in, and now it's your turn to live life on your terms in this, what should be, in my opinion, a very vibrant phase of life. We are here to assist with that. And I really look forward to the next several weeks together as we dive into confusing topics, shine light on them, get some clarity, and allow you to feel like you've moved to a different place, education on the topics that touch retirement. Looking forward to seeing you next week. And please head on over to our website, shoot us an email, give us a call. Let us know how you want to engage with us, but send us questions, scenarios, things that you want to talk about. This is your conversation, so join us next time on Care Conversations with Clarity. Join our Clarity Financial Solutions family, where through education and others' experience, we empower you to make retirement choices with confidence. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook, or head on over to our website and sign up for our newsletter. If you'd like to further engage with us, please don't hesitate. Just reach out, 864-987-8729. See you next time on Care Conversations with Clarity.